The Super Bowl is upon us. The most bets will be going on this week than any other time of the year. So let's get it in good here on the OddsShopper channel. I'm Chris Spags, taking you through some of my favorite bets for the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Eagles, let's talk about it right now. One thing I like to do before I get into any sort of betting markets, look at the advanced analytics, determine where there's an advantage. I can try to find something in these markets out there. So I'm going to DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm teeing up the Chiefs on the year, going up a high 0.14 EPA to outside receivers. They're also 32nd in the league defending wide receiver ones, according to Football Outsiders DVOA, which I'm personally biased to. 22% boost the position of wide receiver ones. That means right away, I'm going to target the Eagles' two alpha receivers, a 1A, a 1B, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. A.J. Brown, you can find on this screen right now, 100-plus receiving yards at plus 230. Devonta Smith, 100-plus receiving yards at plus 340. There are ways for both these guys to get there, so you can place these bets together. Or what you could do is try to take just one of these bets and try to get that right. But I think taking both of them is a positive way to do this. If the Chiefs do give up a lot of points as they have throughout the year, if the Eagles force the ball downfield, very possible that both these guys can get there. But even if just one of them hits, you'll be profitable from this bet. And also, you can take some stabs at Jalen Hurts passing overs or Dallas Goedert unders with it. So really what you're trying to do is correlate some of these plays together. We know the Eagles are going to have to put up points. Of course, they love to run the ball. They do love to pass when they have to as well. And the last time these two teams met, the Eagles did pass over expectation quite a bit more than they have throughout the course of this year. But of course, if you are looking for a place to bet, wouldn't be a bad idea to go over to the DraftKings Sportsbooks, the place that I am pulling all these bets from. This is the best deal you're going to find on there. All you have to do is place a wager of $5 or more, and what they're going to give you right away, $200 in free bets paid out. It's 8 bets at $25, so you could right away use those for the Super Bowl. You can also use them for other sports. Of course, DraftKings has one of the best selection of sports markets out there. All you have to do, deposit right now, place a bet of $5 for your first-time customer, and then they will give you immediately $200 in free bets. Again, 8 bets worth $25 each. That's a good way to build your bankroll on there, a good way to get yourself some skin in the game, and a good way to fund your entire Super Bowl betting process if you want to do on there. Of course, the legal age for betting in most states is 21 plus, and if you or someone you know has a problem with gambling, please call 1-800-GAMBLER ASAP. Now, it's a fairly known thing that anytime touchdown scores, while fun, sometimes can get priced up enough to not justify their value. So that's when you want to try to combine some correlated plays, which if you're playing on DraftKings or fantasy, you already know. But if you're new to it, basically you can correlate two outcomes that would likely occur to find yourself some value on DraftKings Sportsbook. For example, Miles Sanders, a minus 105 anytime touchdown bet right now, but he's plus 210 to score along with an Eagles win on DraftKings. That's some nice value there, of course, for the Eagles to win. They're likely going to have to salt away some of that clock going against Patrick Mahomes. If they're in the lead throughout the game, you will see more touches go Miles Sanders' way, and it's the Super Bowl. I wouldn't worry about Boston Scott. I wouldn't worry about Kenneth Gainwell here. As long as this game is close, as long as Patrick Mahomes has a ball in his hands and air in his lungs, he will be out there slinging it. So it's Miles Sanders punching in a touchdown here and an Eagles win, plus 210. I think it's a very strong bet to go to here. It's got a little bit of an advantage based on that anytime touchdown bet. The next bet I'm going to hit on here is I've talked a lot about the hospitable matchups for the Eagles here going against the Chiefs. Chiefs defense on the year, not that good. Eagles defense on the year, very good. But if there's one Chief I'd bank on this week, it actually may surprise you. It's not Travis Kelce. It's not MVS. And it's definitely not Kadarius Toney, whose lines have actually come down in a lot of the books with him missing practice and still questionable to play, even though Andy Reid says he's going to go. The guy I'm interested in the most is going to be Jerick McKinnon this week. With Mecole Hardman out as well as Juju and Kadarius Toney banged up, you could see a lot more intermediate routes and possibly red zone touches go McKinnon's way. I like McKinnon over 44.5 rushing receiving yards. That one's at minus 115. That's my favorite McKinnon bet, but I also think he's pretty live as a plus 175 anytime touchdown scorer. For a guy who's getting real work, who is involved in the red zone, getting plus money on that's a positive, especially given, as we talked about, those anytime touchdown scorers do get juiced up quite a bit. A lot of guys with negative odds there, and of course that's going to be tougher to hit and tougher to find the upside in. I also don't mind Jerick McKinnon over 2.5 receptions, though that's also going to interest me the least. It's minus 150, so you're not getting that positive EV on that one. You're not getting the plus juice on the money you're putting down. It's still a nice bet for McKinnon. Overall, I think McKinnon a very solid play and one that the gambling market's actually pretty fair towards, where a lot of these other guys, like Travis Kelce's of the world, you are going to find tough odds, tough lines for everywhere you look for him. The last bet I'm going to give you, this is going to be a crucial one here for DraftKings Sportsbook, especially if you're trying to churn that deposit bonuses. Love looking at alternate spreads and totals is another way to find value out there, particularly when you do, as I do, shop around for the top international markets, trying to determine what the true probability, what the true value is of certain bets. The one that stands out the most to me amongst the most probable markets is going to be the game scoring over 44.5. According to the top markets out there, that one's got a 68.6% true probability, but it also has on DraftKings plus EV bet at minus 251. So over 44.5 on DraftKings. Again, you're giving yourself a little bit of a buffer with that market line, which is a 51-point over-under out there, but still giving yourself a chance here to win some money, to also churn that deposit bonus, make one of your perhaps 8 free bets for $25 count. That's what you're looking for on this one. I also think too, there's some ways that you can have a little more fun out there. Sometimes betting a alternate spread that is under the market total is not going to be the most fun. One thing that I would look at is trying to take the over 57.5 points. That one's got plus 185 odds. DraftKings 33% probability for that one when you remove the VIG, right there with the international markets. And it's a more fun bet to root for. Obviously, if you're rooting for over 44.5, you're basically saying that there's a shot the main markets are going to go under, the game a little bit lower scoring, even with 3 touchdowns, potentially 4 each side. But if you want to target a really fun shootout, target a fun game, and also one that mathematically makes some sense, I do think going over 57.5, not the highest probability bet. Again, you're only winning 1 out of every 3 times. For a shootout game, it's going to look about as good as it can possibly get. So there you go. There's our inaugural edition of Spags Bets here on the OddsShopper YouTube channel. Follow me at Chris Spags. Of course, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel down below to see great content from a lot of guys out there who are grinding as hard as I am, probably more so, especially if you watch Ben Rossa. Look at that guy's headshot. You wouldn't tell that he's been spending tens of thousands of dollars on bets every single week. I don't know. I don't want to spoil Ben's bankroll. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out with me today, and I will be back with you guys again soon. So enjoy the Super Bowl and good luck.